Have you ever noticed how there are some days where you're absolutely crushing it at work, everything is going great, and then there's some days that you just cannot seem to do anything or get anything done? Well, let me tell you, that's something that happens to almost every woman, and it's fully related to your cycle. On today's episode of Menstrual Cycle Phases Girl Talk Edition, we're going to talk about how your cycle impacts your work productivity. It's literally your hormones, and today I'm spilling the tea on everything that's happening in your body that's causing this change in productivity depending on what phase of your cycle you're in. I was struggling with this literally last week. I was in my luteal phase and I could not do anything. All I wanted to do was go on Pinterest or TikTok and not even focus on work and just do nothing. Meanwhile, the week before when I was getting up, I was like, okay, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to get this content out there. I'm ready to email this person. I'm ready to do this. And a week later, I had zero productivity and I didn't understand what was wrong with me. I mean, I did, but like for a second, I'm like, why can't I get my work done? And then I realized, oh, it's my luteal phase, of course. So let's get into what is actually happening with productivity during your cycle. I'm gonna break down each phase and what you should really be focusing on during each phase. So let's start with your menstrual phase, which is when you get your period. Your hormones are at their lowest and so is your energy, and it's really just a time to rest. Although you are more intuitive during this time, so you can also take this time to evaluate what has been working, what hasn't been working, and just kind of resting and allowing your body to come back and ground itself so you can really get into work in the next few weeks. Right after that starts your follicular phase. This is when your period's already over, your estrogen is rising again, and your energy is coming back. You're starting to feel like yourself again. In terms of work and productivity, this is when you want to start planning. You can set aside any goals that you want to meet. You can start planning what you have to do in the next few weeks coming up that are really important, and just getting super creative with this phase. This is when you want to brainstorm, when you want to come up with new ideas, new projects, whatever it is that helps you grow into your success. You want to use your follicular phase to plan for it. Then comes the amazing ovulation phase, which is when you're going to be super productive. This is when you want to use the time super wisely, because this is when you have all the hormones supporting you. You have estrogen, you have testosterone, both are super high, and these are making you a communication queen right now. With these two hand in hand, you're going to accomplish anything you need. You're going to have lots of energy, lots of communication skills. It's a great time to just do whatever it is you've been planning to do in your follicular phase. Take your ovulation phase to get it done. People are also really drawn to you during this time, so if there's any networking events that you've been wanting to do, or just things that you know involve conversations with others, if you can align it with your ovulation, that would be ideal. And your luteal phase, of course. So again, as you know, in this channel, we break it up into two parts, your early luteal and your late luteal. During your early luteal phase, you want to take the time to reflect on what has worked and what hasn't. You're not going to be very productive, but it is still a really important time for your work to be able to kind of hone in on what happened during your cycle. What did you enjoy about these meetings with people that you had during your ovulation phase? What did you enjoy about your planning or strategizing during your follicular? What worked? What do you want to do better in the next cycle? And just really focusing on yourself and getting more inwards during this phase. And then you're going to hit late luteal, and honestly, you're just going to need to rest. I promise you, if you try to add a lot of stuff on your plate, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to get nothing done. Just focus on not putting too much on your plate. Of course, there's things that you're still going to have to get done, but give yourself grace if you can, and give yourself grace if you need more rest during those days. We have to normalize self-care being productive, okay? So yeah, in terms of productivity, you're not gonna get a lot of work done in terms of like your business or your work, but you're gonna get work done in terms of taking care of yourself, and that's gonna fuel you to be an even stronger person throughout your next cycles and just in general in life. So obviously there's different ways that you can track your cycle and track your workload. You can either use a calendar, you can use a period tracker app. There's so many things you can do. What I do that works best for me is just listening to my body and understanding where my body is at. I do use a period tracker, but I also pay attention to what's going on. If I wake up one day and I really can't seem to get anything done, I'm gonna know that I'm probably in my luteal phase and I need to pay attention to that. And of course, I'm gonna check my app, and when I see those two align, I'm like, okay, now I get what's going on. But I would say my first tip right now, if you're just getting into cycle syncing and productivity, just pay attention. Pay attention to the workload you give yourself and how much you're able to get done that day. If there's more you want to do one day and you've already completed all your tasks, then you're probably in ovulation and there's a lot you want to do. So go ahead and do it. And if there's days that you have a lot on your workload and you can't seem to get any of it done, or you barely get any of it done, and you notice you're in your luteal phase, give yourself grace with it and just be flexible. Of course, there's some days that you're gonna have a lot of to-do lists and you are gonna be in your luteal phase and you're gonna have to do it anyway because you have deadlines to meet or whatever, and that's okay. But just be mindful of it during that time, and again, forgive yourself for not having that much energy don't push yourself way too hard. And if you really have to get those things done, try taking out some other tasks from your day so you can at least focus on taking care of yourself during this too. And that's my quick guide to understanding your cycle and your work productivity. Drop a comment below, let me know what phase of your cycle you're in right now and if these tips were actually helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe for more cycle syncing content, and I'll see you next time.